Welcome to Whistleblowers in partnership with Wix Trade Pro. Welcome to Whistleblowers, the podcast, the bonus ball with Mark Clattenburg, the famous referee, and in for his second appearance in a week, it's Andy Dillon, formerly of the Current Bun, now of the Whistleblowers podcast.
More appearances here than David Nugent got for England.
What was the Andy Carroll song? The Andy Carroll stat at West Ham?
There was a period of time for Andy Carroll where, because of his injuries, that Bruce Springsteen had played more minutes at London Stadium than him.
The thing that's upset me this morning is you can't call a chocolate biscuit anymore.
You can't call. Is it a penguin?
Chocolate flavoured.
Yeah, it's penguin. You can't call. What
There's
was the other one? There was
cocoa.
two. There was two, wasn't it? Penguin and
Club biscuit.
Orange juice and orange juice drink was different as well.
It's happening with mineral water as well, boys. Perrier water can't call itself natural mineral water because it's just rank water out the ground. Perrier, rank mineral water out the ground.
Peckham Spring. Let's get Peckham Spring water.
Peckham Spring. Andy, it's great to have you back. You came in here full of the joys of life. I used to get such a hard time working at The Sun for being Scottish. There's a guy we work with called Mark Wood, and I sat for God knows how many years. We used to have this morning conference, Mark, right, where you go through the stories of the day. News editor, picture editor, business editor, sport, and then showbiz would go last. And for years, they're like, that useless jock Andy Murray's failed to win a match yet again.
Yeah.
And the day he won Wimbledon, I just sat there. How's that useless jock doing now? But you came in here doing your usual ripping a piss out of my Scottish thing with Aberdeen, because it's got an interesting story up the road there.
Yes, well, I spotted this story a couple of days ago. They've appointed a sporting director. By the name, I will struggle with the surname, but it's something like Louise Fanelstein, something like that. And it was only a tiny story, but it's just one of those classic, you don't need to embellish it at all. It's like Aberdeen have appointed a sporting director who's been thrown in a Singapore jail, has died 3 times on a football pitch, and was once arrested for stealing a penguin.
I mean, that's the kind of transfer policy I'd like to have. It's a great story. There is a brilliant story about that. I'm trying to think which club it was. It might have been Yeovil, but they had a Christmas night out in Dublin, and there's a zoo in Dublin, and suddenly on the news there was a story about a penguin being nicked from the zoo, and I may or may not know a footballer who was playing there at the time.
Responsible for it.
And they woke up in a travel lodge in a room covered in penguin shit with a telly on going, why is there shit everywhere? They opened the bathroom door and the penguin was in the bath.
They filled it up with water and the penguin was in the bath.
The penguin was in the bath. And then they were like, shit, how do we get the penguin back to the zoo before?
I've started charging people to come into the room and see the sea life.
This is a hangover, isn't it? Was it the tiger?
Yeah, I don't know what it is with penguins, though, because that guy had done it as well. He'd played all over the world, didn't he, the Aberdeen director of football?
Apparently so, yeah. Yeah, it's one of those stories that just catches my eye, because you would sit there for hours trying to think of an intro to that. But an intro just can't improve it for what it is.
The story's there.
Yeah.
Mark, I know that you've been an incredibly professional man, but you also like a night out with the boys, right? Yeah. And I've never had more fun than on a night out in Newcastle. There's something magical and mischievous about that city. But on your travels and nights out over the years with the boys away from football, where's the most trouble you got in?
I didn't get into trouble, but one of my colleagues did,
right.
And I won't name him because I didn't do it when I did my book recently. But I was in Moscow.
So was it Moscow's the
Moscow
common denominator,
and our hotel was round the corner from this bar, and we'd had a few beers afterwards. A celebration drink with the boys. Because we're a team, so I've got to try and keep that. And we lost one of them, and couldn't find him. I've gone round and we'd actually just gone outside. I've gone right, and he must have gone left and just disappeared off the face of the earth. He'd just gone, and I've gone back looking for him, couldn't find him. But we're only a few hundred metres from the hotel. So eventually, after looking 10 minutes for him, couldn't find him. Goes back to the hotel, asked the hotel, can I go into his room, which was always a challenge because they're like, no, you can't do that. I said, I need to go into his room to make sure in case he's gone into his room and everything's fine. No, he's not in his room. His mobile phone's on charge, so he hasn't got his mobile phone. I go to bed. I'm thinking, what can I do? It feels like it's my responsibility because I'm the head referee, and one of your colleagues has disappeared, gone wherever. You think, fucking hell! Imagine this story coming back, and you lose one of your colleagues in Moscow. Next morning, I get a phone call, 7 a.m. Your taxi driver needs paying. I went, really? I says, put it on me fucking bill.
Yeah.
Goes down the stairs, leaving at midday for a flight back to London. Wall comes down the stairs at 11:30, and that colleague comes down a little bit sheepish. I went, early morning, did you? No, I got in. I says, you put a fucking taxi on me room, you fucking idiot. If he'd actually paid his taxi himself, he would have kept it quiet and said, I got lost and blah, blah, blah. He'd come in and he'd said that he'd got in a taxi in Moscow, fell asleep, and the driver drove round for 4 or 5 hours. If you believe that.
The meter ticking away.
Yeah, you believe anything.
I'm not sure I believe that
That's
one.
a really...
But another quick story, same guy. Oh, another funny story. Malaga. So I refereed Malaga, the very first Champions League game. We're having a place there, probably my holiday place for years. So it's got a special part of my life. And doing their first Champions League was always special. We're playing Zenit St. Petersburg. And same colleague, we ends up meeting some friends for a drink afterwards in Bella Medina. If you know Bella Medina, it's right next to Malaga. It's got a few bars on the beach. So we goes into this bar. They'd won 3-0. Everybody was happy. The owner of the bar goes, there's Mark Clattenburg and his team. We'll give them free drink. You don't have to pay for anything. So I think, this is sound. Drinking away. One of my colleagues starts not abusing this guy, but starts talking to this guy. And this guy is a bit of a hard lad.
Yeah.
And he's a big Everton fan. Well, I knew he was an Everton. I'd messed up the derby previous and he'd already been into me.
Yeah,
but I knew I kept it calm. And the first thing he said was, without even working out, who do you support? He's gone straight for Everton. And I'm thinking, oh my word, not the most, the best thing you've ever said. So this guy said to me, how am I going to get this guy back? I said, don't punch him, because it'll land on my doorstep. I said, it'll end up in a paper. We've been in a bar. You've assaulted him, blah, blah, blah. He said, I'll get him back in another way then. So he goes to the bar, gets him a triple vodka, puts it in his drink, goes to the bar again, gets him another triple. This guy couldn't even stand up. Gets him back to the hotel. How he got this flight. We're banging on his door to get him out of bed. He nearly missed his flight, but it was the best way to get him back because,
Everton. Don't pick a fight with an Everton fan.
But if you go and meet people, you meet people all the time. You don't go, Everton or Liverpool. You say, how do you support? And you'll go, Everton, what a great club. Lovely stadium, lovely people.
Love it,
I love it. You don't go, fucking Goodison Park or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Fucking idiot.
Oh, dear me. Right, we've got a question from Stephen, right? And he asks, hello guys, loving the podcast. With the news of the broadcasting companies essentially scrapping Boxing Day football, I wonder if most people were as angry as me with the decision. It's part of the holiday that really helps to bring my family together. And they seem to be taking away a tradition just to fit in with a television schedule and fuel their own greed. Now, a bit of background. The Premier League is contractually obliged to deliver 33 weekends. I don't know if you know this, Andy. 33 weekends to broadcasters and needs to deliver on its promise. No final decision's been made yet about Boxing Day, but Boxing Day is likely to be treated like any other Friday during the season. And that means Friday night football, one game. So games then take place Saturday, Sunday and Monday. So it meets the deal that's there. Still a full calendar of EFL and non-league matches on Boxing Day, by the way. And it's still the same in Scotland, I'd imagine. But the Premier League is taking a hit. Andy, one of the things that's a curse of being a football reporter is that often Christmas can be a bit ruined, can't it? You have to work Christmas Day. You always have to work Christmas Day in newspapers. It used to kill me.
Well, I think it was the Sun that first introduced the Boxing Day paper.
Really?
Yeah. Many years ago. There never used to be one on Boxing Day.
Christmas Eve off because there was no paper on Christmas Day.
Yeah. And then what we would tend to do, we'd have stuff filed.
Yep.
And in the days when you could have a bit of cooperation with clubs, you'd usually get a manager to dress up as Santa and who's the manager and that sort of stuff. And stuff could get held over. It's not so easy now with the internet and everything being such rapid turnover. I'm probably risking my marriage here to say that I actually used to really... I spoke to my wife this morning about this and she said, great, Christmas is back on for all the families because all the husbands aren't disappearing to Boxing Day football. Your guy who's messaged in, it's interesting, he says that brings football to the family together. They must all go to the match.
Together,
and that's fair enough.
Yeah.
I never. If I said to my wife, "Do you fancy West Ham Burnley on Boxing Day?" We're away.
It's our familiar on Boxing Day.
And also, it would sometimes it was an in-laws get together on the Boxing Day, and
Brilliant.
I can't make it. Got to work.
What a
Can't
nightmare.
make it. Got to work, and I would always arrive as they were leaving at the end of the day, and they'd be, "Oh no, I've missed the in-laws." He said, "What?
Andy, it was an 11. It was a 12 o'clock kickoff.
Curse this
It's 9 o'clock.
Curse this job." No, I'm just being facetious. It is actually, one of the. I mean, it's. I don't know if you grew up on football, you grew up on Boxing Day.
Yeah.
Years ago, we were always the one thing that does annoy me about Boxing Day is they now don't bother giving you sensitive or sympathetic fixtures. You could have Bournemouth at Newcastle on that Friday, and that's the because there's enough close-knit teams to be able to manage that a bit better.
Yeah.
Well, I always remember as a teenager, we'd usually get put away at Spurs and we'd all go over there and people would be smelling a cheap aftershave, cheap Fred Perry knockoff jumpers and the smell of booze, all packed in the Park Lane end. And, we'd be beaten 5-1, but it'd be a great day out.
Yeah.
So all that's kind of gone out the window, and those are that's the bad point about it.
Yeah.
It's going to stagger the football. If it's not all on Boxing Day, it's going to be staggered for the next 4 days.
I love the Christmas fixtures. It's a brilliant way to get out of the house. And like you say, that unmistakable smell of dupe.
High karate.
High karate. Fahrenheit.
Or Charlie.
I honestly think it's just wrong.
Yeah.
And that, as a referee, I didn't like Boxing Day games, if I was honest, because you had to watch what you were eating and drinking, of course. So you couldn't really enjoy, not like players, they used to train in the morning. I wouldn't train, we didn't have to train to that level. So we would be able to have a Christmas dinner. And then I've had to travel. I've been in a hotel by Haydock Park for a weekend game on a Boxing Day. I've had to travel early mornings to travel Watford Crystal Palace for a 12:30 kickoff on Boxing Day. Lots of restrictions, and it was even strange when I finished refereeing. I ended up working for Amazon Prime, and that was the first time. Even though the wife was upset, you're working Boxing Day again. We can't have the family around. And I used to say, but I would have a few drinks, and I used to hate the Boxing Day games because it was like you were in the studio from 10 o'clock in the morning till 10 o'clock at night, and there was four sets of games. You had your early kickoff, your 3 o'clocks, your 5:30, and then a 7:40.
7 o'clock.
So you had and when you've got a bit of a hangover, going into a studio that never had any light all day. So Boxing Day was always working, and it was interesting. I said to the family, "Look, have you read this news that there might be only one Boxing Day game?" They went, "Typical. When you're not working, you've already got." But I'm good as a fan, and I'm talking as a fan now. I was really looking forward as a sport. I love sport, and what would have been brilliant, and families have always been, I suppose Christmas you can enjoy what you can, but imagine this Christmas you would have had the Boxing Day test, the Ashes in the MCG in the morning. You've got football, you've got the King George horse racing at Kempton. Then you've got then you go and watch the football again, and it's like what
Brilliant.
A perfect.
Then the snooker
box,
starts.
I know, yeah.
But then you've got
and
that's
the darts,
a perfect
the
box.
darts, the arrows is on.
Yeah, you got the
And I
darts.
think-
now
I
you've got to speak to your
Ali
family.
Pally.
Yeah. Oh my
No.
I'm not sure it's going to. I think clubs are not going to be really hurt about it because all that'll happen is I think most Premier League clubs, their season tickets are sold out, the stadiums are sold out. If you went to say if that happened in the lower leagues, it would be a crisis because a lot of fans buy tickets and families buy tickets for Boxing Day. If you look statistically, the crowds go up Boxing Day, and I think a lot of people enjoy that bit of football. I think Premier League now, everybody's got season tickets. Are they going to play on a Saturday this year? Yeah. Will it create more break in between Christmas? Probably. I think when are the next going to play because normally they used to play 27, 28, didn't they?
Yeah.
And then play New Year.
It's all done because of the European football, isn't it? Surprise, surprise.
Oh, there we go.
The congestion and fitting in the extra games for Europe,
We remember-
Champions League, and
Was it 2 years ago when they played in Qatar? The Winter
was
World
2
Cup. You end up playing the Carabao Cup. 1 day or 2 days before. There was a game at Christmas Eve, wasn't it? Chelsea?
Chelsea.
Was it
Wolves,
Chelsea?
couple of years ago. Yeah.
You know, Christmas Eve, and you think,
Chelsea Wolves.
and that is Christmas Eve. I think Christmas Eve, you know, transport closes down early, everywhere closes down early. Listen, I think Boxing Day is a tradition, and I know around the world in other leagues it closes. Turkish, Italian, all the top European leagues close down for Christmas. But Christmas in England has been tradition. I hope we don't lose that traditional Christmas.
We'd always followed a Harry Redknapp rule when was he at Spurs when he cancelled Christmas altogether. Do you remember after they had a particularly bad defeat? He said, "That's it, Christmas is over."
I was going to win the players over, isn't it?
Yeah, the Ghost wrote
me.
his column for years, and he told me he used to love Boxing Day football.
Yeah,
been in the house all day, you know, feeling stuffy with the central heating on, and you know, I mean, Harry being Harry probably would have been at all those events, the horse racing. He would have been at the football.
What was that like doing Harry's column? I forgot you did that because that's when we would have been working together.
Oh yeah, he's sensational.
Yeah.
I
love Harry. You know.
Yeah,
Harry's
great.
class.
You know, you're able to build a rapport with him, and I think I was kind of lucky because my dad is from Poplar in the East End, and so is Harry.
Right.
So often at times we would just drift off and talk about his.
Did they know each other?
Sorry?
Did they know each other?
No, my dad's about a good 12 years older than Harry.
Okay,
but you know, he talks about the Burdett Road and all those places, Burdett Road Estate, and I can picture it all from going to see my nan when I was younger and that sort of stuff. So great guy to listen to, the stories, the anecdotes, the stuff that he stores up.
What's your best Harry story? Everyone's got a good Harry Redknapp story.
Oh, yeah, loads. But I mean,
Come on.
there's one. It's kind of I think I might have mentioned.
You told us a good one last time.
Yeah, that was about Pavlyuchenko, wasn't it?
Story,
yeah, I mean that's the best one.
Yeah.
That is the best one. But there was the one when he was Portsmouth manager, and he was telling me that he signed. I think it was an Argentinian player he was trying to sign, and of course he was at Portsmouth, and the agent, and Harry thought the deal was all done. He's chatting away, and the agent said to him, "No, the deal's not done. We want to get something in about the Champions League. We want a clause in the contract about Champions League football. You know, if you get Champions League football, he wants a bonus." So Harry's manager of Portsmouth, and I said to the bloke, "Listen, take it from me, if Portsmouth get into the Champions League, I will drive 4 million quid in cash round to your house and personally deliver it. Don't worry about that."
Because Harry was on 5 million bonus. Class.
One of my favourite stories that I wrote about him was because he was so busy in the transfer markets. He was so, remember in the days of Milan Mandaric down there, and he was flying here, there, and everywhere, and trying to get all these deals done to keep Portsmouth up and doing all this great business like he does. That I did a match report down there, and he spoke about it afterwards. How he's not been at home for 5 minutes, whatever. Mm-hmm. So we wrote an intro that said that Harry Redknapp's been flying around so much during the transfer window. He's not sure if deep vein thrombosis is an aircraft condition from flying or a Greek striker.
What's your,
you got one. You
must
got
have
one.
Harry story.
No, I wasn't like because
Really?
I've met Harry.
Steve
Harry was such a great guy, wasn't he?
Good to referee.
Yeah, and he was such a. He would lose at odd times, but he was a gentleman.
Really
and I remember even Harry Heroes when I was retired. I remember refereeing his Harry Heroes, you know, like his charity matches and stuff. But I remember one thing, and because Harry was such a character, but a character like Sam Allardyce was, they knew the limits, but they were great banter. And I loved that as a referee. And there was one time, and I lost it with him. I was refereeing QPR Spurs, and I sent off Adel Taarabt. For a second, he booted the ball away. And anybody remember Adel Taarabt? He had a short fuse.
Yeah.
And I sent him off, and I didn't think nothing of it. And as I'm coming down the tunnel at half time, and he turned around and said, "Yeah, you fucking only sent him off because Newcastle have gone above us for fucking Champions League." And I got in the dressing room. It didn't click at first, and he was probably heard that they're down to 10 men or whatever. But I thought, fucking hell, I'm not having that, like. So I got in my dressing room, and it hadn't clicked. Because in the heat of the battle, it didn't really click. And I've gone in, I'm thinking, yeah, because Newcastle had won at 3 o'clock and they'd gone into the Champions League spot at that present. And I never thought anything of it. Do you know what I mean? I'm refereing a game of football, you know, at 5:30. and I wasn't going to have it. I've fucking gone out the dressing room. I'm looking for me. I couldn't get into the dressing room. Nobody would let us in. I thought, fuck, I'm not having it. So I waited till they come out. The players are already on the pitch and Harry would come out. I was fucking having it. And to be fair, he apologised. And he did the battle. He said something probably out of character, certainly was, but I was frothing that he thought, I've only sent off Adel Tarak because Newcastle are in a Champions League spot.
Well,
I was like, I'm not having that.
He's ferociously competitive because that image he has of being cheery and kind of happy-go-lucky, beneath it all, there's a guy really, really good at what he did.
Should he have managed England?
Oh,
good question.
I think, yeah.
I think so.
I think
when Capello was England manager, I think he should have
been.
What he did at Portsmouth, man, was incredible, wasn't it? That team he had at Portsmouth and what they achieved in the FA Cup was...
Yeah. I remember I covered Portsmouth in the Europa League, wasn't it? They would have got into from winning the cup, or I still can't remember if it was Europa League or UEFA Cup at the time. And we went to Dusseldorf with Portsmouth, and the night before the game, about 50 or 60 Pompey fans got arrested because they were all fighting with each other in the Dracula bar in Dusseldorf. There's I think it was Gosport against Lee Park, this really mad estate down there, and there were no Germans to fight, so the Pompey fans are having it with each other. But yeah, I think great vision for football. You know, the way it not the way it should be played, but the way he liked to. Entertainment's a massive, massive part of his DNA, and he's never forgotten that fans pay money. Not every fan is going to a match because they want their team to win the league. It can't work like that. So entertain them.
I wish there was characters still like him in the game.
I know.
And he was such a special character. And, and one thing he never held grudges. I don't know how he would you might have, even just in that heat of the battle. Yeah. Next time you see him, it's like he's got his arm around you.
Yeah.
How you, Mark? How are you? You know what I mean? It was like it was like the lovable guy. You know, you could never fall out with Harry. Yeah. Same with Sam. You could never fall out with Sam Allardyce. You had that lovable character.
And it also made you feel good that someone of their stature, with Allardyce the same. I had only 1 or 2 run-ins with him, but the fact that you could take them on. Like, you must have felt good to take Harry on. I mean, you were a high-profile figure anyway.
But I was upset with the way he'd done it.
But there comes a point where you think, I don't care who you are, I'm not having that. And you give him a little bit back. And then it kind of makes you feel a little bit, you know what, I've stood my ground on that, and I'm not backing down.
He respects you for it,
Yeah.
At least,
Some managers might not enjoy it, but guys like Allardyce and Harry would... They were men as well, weren't they? And humans.
At least once a month I'll watch that clip of Harry Redknapp getting scalped with a football at the training ground.
Yeah.
It's fucking brilliant.
And the bucket of water was
David Bentley. David Bentley. We know now that we're in partnership with Wix Trade Pro. Now, we all know the real pros want to spend as much time on the job as possible rather than kicking around in store, don't they?
Exactly. And with Wix Trade Pro, you save 10% every time you shop in store or online. No minimum spend. That's like a guaranteed 3 points every week.
VR's checked it and it's true.
Right, and here's the real time saver. Wix Click and Collect, order online, you head straight to collect in store, grab what you need, and you're back on site before half-time. How about that?
Which allows you more time to get the job done.
Download the Wix Trade Pro app today, sign up, simple as that.
Terms and conditions apply.
Right, football from the inside out. Andy, you're here for a week's earn your money. You've got a question to ask me.
Can I ask 2?
You can ask 2, yeah.
Okay. First, how do you feel about Hearts being top of the Scottish Premier League? Because everybody else is just saying, at last, there's a new face in Scotland and it's breaking up the duopoly.
Yeah.
It's great.
Well,
you're a Hibs fan, right?
I don't know if you know the history here, but in 1986, so Aberdeen won the league 84-85 under Fergie. The next season, Hearts, on the last day of the season, could have won the league against Dundee at Dens Park. But a Dundee player called Albert Kidd scored like an 86th minute winner, and Hearts didn't win the league. So Hibs fans sing about Albert Kidd. So there's this part of me that thinks it could happen again, because Hibs are good, right? We're only, 8, I think they're 8 points clear. They only won the derby in the 97th minute. You know, we are not a bad team at the moment, so there's a long road to run, a long race to run, sorry. But it's the worst possible situation right now. You know, I would love to see the Old Firm split, or, you know, the Old Firm not win the league, but if it was Aberdeen, you can deal with it. But Hearts, it's agony. It's the worst potential situation right now.
I mean, is it more than just city rivalry?
Yeah, I think it is.
So what is it then? What?
It's just, as you said to me once, it's tribal.
Is it because, for example, I'm not saying this in the wrong way, Rangers and Celtic have dominated for years, the trade-off.
Yeah.
I suppose the trade-off, Rangers win the league, Celtic win the league 5 times, Rangers might win it. Is it because Hearts haven't won it for so long?
Yeah, I think
and
so.
nobody's won it outside of the...
I mean, that's ridiculous.
Glasgow clubs.
40 years, isn't it? 85. It's ridiculous. It's a long, long time. I mean, I remember my earliest football memories were probably 1985, 86, around that time. I remember Aberdeen. Everyone supported Aberdeen where I lived because they were glory hunters. It's such an interesting time in Scottish football. I think I called it though at the beginning of the season. Didn't I? I thought this would be the season it happened. And Celtic are in a mess. That's the thing. You know, they've got a deep and big squad, and you think that'll play part in it. But Hearts have got money. That's the other thing. But Hibs are well run at the moment, and things seem to have settled behind the scenes for us. And we should have a bit of money too. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in January.
My other question. You've been down in London so long now. You're developing a bit of a Cockney twang, I can tell. If you had to adopt a team down here, who would it be and why?
I think you already know the answer to this, don't you? I don't know if I've
got
been
an
honest
inkling,
about
but we've never.
Well, I saw a lot of West Ham.
Right.
And I think there's an affinity for some reason with West Ham and Hibs. I don't know what it is. Irvin Welsh is a big West Ham fan.
Yeah.
And I used to go quite a lot. I won a trophy. I don't know if you know this at Upton Park.
I've been the first one for a long time.
There you go, yeah.
Are you in the trophy? You should be in the cabinet.
Yeah. I'll send you
There's
the
plenty
picture.
of room.
There's some dust in there.
The Football League National Five-a-Side tournament. We won it, and the finals were played at Upton Park.
Against the West Ham first team.
Yeah, again, we do comfortably beat them. Oh, Christian Daly. We won't sing that song.
That was, sorry to interrupt, it was one of Harry's great quotes when West Ham won the Inter-Toto Cup, or the Inter-Two-Bob Cup, as it was called, years ago. He said, as he rejoiced in France, just having beaten Metz, he said, I've just rung the chairman, Terry Brown.
Yeah.
They've opened up the trophy room and they've found Lord Lucan, Shergar, and a Japanese prisoner of war. But you'd be a Hammers man.
I went to the cup final, the FA Cup final in Cardiff with a load of boys, you know.
Yeah, okay.
That was brilliant. Liverpool, what a final as well, wasn't it? Incredible. It was just a shit. I thought West Ham had it in the bag that day. It was a brilliant cup final to go to.
Clearly not a proper Hammer then, because you thought West Ham had it won.
I know, exactly. And we had a brilliant weekend with the West Ham fans, and a bunch of boys we used to work with. John Edwards was there, and Arthur. And a crowd of absolute rascals. But I lived in Edinburgh with a guy who's a massive West Ham fan as well, Felix, and he was wild, and he used to take me to Upton Park when I first moved to London, and it was brilliant because it felt like Hibs. A little bit naughty, I think I'd say. But weirdly, the other English club that I've seen a lot is Newcastle. And I've said to you before, I've got a wee bit of Geordie blood in me, although Geordie say it's not because it's
that's the alcohol.
That's a man.
Yeah, the big market.
But yeah, I do feel an affinity with Newcastle as well. But yeah, when I was in London, West Ham was the club I saw the most. I can't mention the other person I used to go and see them with from time to time because he's now a disgraced celebrity.
Right.
Russell Brand.
Oh, right. Okay.
Way back in the day. And James Corden, he had his stag do there. But yeah, I've got a thing, and again, I watched a lot of that Paolo Di Canio era West Ham, which was brilliant.
Yeah.
And I really loved Joe Cole. I think Joe Cole might be one of my favourite footballers of all time, actually.
Yeah, and as a person as well.
And a brilliant kid.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know the Joe Cole story. He used to live in Camden. And when Noel Gallagher moved to London, Joe Cole used to go and kick his ball against his window and go, "Oi, music man, come out for a kickabout," when he was a young lad.
Really? I didn't know that one.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But I love Joe Cole. And it's funny, isn't it? There's just players that you kind of are drawn to. He was one of them.
Yeah.
And again, there's a lot of you good young lads at West Ham around that time, wasn't there?
Yeah,
Jermaine Defoe
Carrick
coming through,
all that lot.
Glenn Johnson.
No, Joe.
Carrick.
Joe 3 times a Premier League winner, I think, and still
Great
an
lad.
absolute gent.
Yeah.
Great lad. Yeah.
Absolute. So grounded, not affected at all.
Yeah, and it makes me a wee bit sad actually to see West Ham playing at London Stadium because I loved Upton Park. It just, I loved that feeling of being just on the right side of scared at a football match.
Yeah.
Do you know? You're like, am I allowed to speak in my Scottish accent here? I'm going to get filled in. But also the Frank McAvenny. Frank's a good friend of mine, and he's a proper West Ham legend.
Yeah.
He loves West Ham. And I got to play at Upton Park with Frank, which was like a really special experience because, again, when I was a kid growing up, everyone wanted to be Frank McAvenny. Yeah. And the famous story that they'd lost the TV rights, didn't they?
Nobody knew who he was.
But he was top goal scorer, or would have been, And Lineker only got it because Ray Stewart took the penalties for West Ham, right?
That's right, Ray Tonka, yeah.
Yeah, so if Frank had taken the penalties, he would have been the top goal scorer in English First Division by a country mile.
Yeah.
But Ray Stewart never missed one, did he?
I don't think he did, mate. No, he just take the net off
There you go.
as well. But
yeah.
Stan Collymore told me a great story about. I remember seeing this happen as well when he was playing for Liverpool at Upton Park, and I think he scored after about 8 minutes.
Yeah.
And puts the ball in the back of the net, but instead of turning right towards the Liverpool fans, he made the wrong turn and went left towards the chicken run. Stood there like that, all imperious. Yeah. And the next thing, this cup of something came out of the crowd and hit him on the head, splashed all over him. And he confirmed to me later, like some years later, it was urine.
What a stupid man to get close to that chicken run.
Yeah. But what made me think, who stands there with a cup of...
Me now, because I'm dying for a pee.
Right, we'll draw it to a close there. Good questions, Andy Dillon, great to have you back on.
Thank you so much.
Ian Ladyman's standing as deputy.
The straight man.
Yeah, the straight man. Thanks for coming, Andy. Great to see you. Mark, lovely to see you too.
Yeah, good man.
We still haven't managed the game of golf, so we're looking for that invite to your Spanish palace.
Yeah, one day. With a horse. Aberdeen lady, I'm going to get him a horse. I'm going to get him a horse from the field.
What a story. Email us, whistleblowers@dailymail.com, if you'd like to put a question to Mark and Mr. Ladyman and myself, like Stephen did. And also get in touch with us on social media. BlowersPod on X, TikTok @Whistleblowers Podcast, Instagram @WhistleBlowersPod. Mark, I know you've forgotten your whistle, but just make a noise.
I have.
Thank you very much for watching Whistleblowers. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Remember, episodes every Thursday and Tuesday. And on a Sunday, you'll get our clip of the week.